Yeah, around 2 o'clock this morning, we were dispatched here. The sheriff's office was dispatched here on a domestic violence call. The call ended up being a felonious assault where someone was actually stabbed with a kitchen knife. While we were dealing with that scene, the suspect in that domestic violence felonious assault was acting very erratic. We got the place secured, we got the victim out. At that point, we made a call out for the Montgomery County Regional SWAT team to respond because of how the suspect was acting at the time. We spent about 40 minutes trying to make public announcements using the vehicle's PA system. Individual we could tell was tearing up the house. The individual came out at that point. There was some less lethal tactics that were deployed to try to get the individual into custody. That did not work. Once again, the SWAT team was en route out to this scene. The next thing that occurred is the individual came out without getting too specific with a weapon and brushed the officers on the perimeter. And at that point, there was an officer involved shooting, and the officer involved shooting involves a couple of different agencies that were here to assist the sheriff's office. And at this point, we have Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, BCI, en route to take over the investigation.
Was there a K-9 injured in this?
There was a K-9 injured in this. The K-9 was deployed to try to stop the individual, and during the incident, the K-9 was also injured and is at an animal hospital right now.
Current condition?
I don't know the condition of the K-9.
Is the suspect or person that was involved in the hospital, or where is that person now?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
The person that was involved, the suspect, where is he now? He or she?
The suspect that is involved is still at the scene.
Can you tell us which agencies were responding in addition to the Sheriff's Department?
It was the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, the City of Dayton, and then a couple others were en route. But the main agencies involved is the City of Dayton and the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office.
We had heard that someone was stabbed before you were called out here. What is their condition?
Their condition is stable, non-life threatening, but yes, the reason we were called out here was a domestic violence call where someone was stabbed, which turned it into a felonious assault.
And where is that person at this time?
That person is at the hospital currently.
Do you know which hospital?
You know, I really don't know.
Can you talk a little bit about using the non-lethal and then having to use something else?
I can't get into too much of that because the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation is en route, and I don't exactly know what they all want released. But I will say during the incident, less lethal beanbag rounds were used, a taser was used, the K-9 was used. So many things were attempted to try to take him into custody before the officer involved shooting occurred.
Is there any reason why he would be able to survive, like not be injured, or was able to still be standing after the use of all that less lethal stuff? Is there any do you have any indication why that was? Like why he was able to not?
I don't know. Different people react different ways, depending on their mental health or what's involved in their body and chemicals and things like that.
Do you know how old the suspect is?
I do not.
Can you talk about your officers and the job that they did in this? Obviously, decisions had to be made in like a kind of a stepladder type deal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, things happen very quickly. Once again, at the point where this occurred, the officers were on the perimeter waiting for a special weapons and tactics team to come out, and the individual was acting so erratic and decided that he would go out to them. So, you know, I'm sure they did what they felt they needed to do, and that's why we have BCI coming out to investigate and make sure that everything, our policies, procedures, and obviously the law was followed during this incident.
Have you dealt with this guy before? Been out here on the other?
I don't want to get into all that.
So are those officers on leave now who had fired their weapons?
Uh, those officers are all separated and yes, waiting on BCI to come and begin their investigation.
I guess, would you also care to comment more on, there's been, over the past year, there's been talk about mental health issues and using less lethal. About a year ago, there was a similar standoff on the other side of town that ended peacefully because of how your deputies handled the situation. So is this just kind of like a reminder that it doesn't have to escalate as quickly or anything like that?
I mean, obviously, we carry tools to where the point where the last thing we want, and the last thing any deputy or officer wants is to have to use lethal force. But unfortunately, a lot of times less lethal does not work. And tonight is just one of those incidents where about everything we had at our disposal was attempted in that very quick time period that did not work. So it's just one of those things where once again it's based on the individual's actions and how much actually whether it's a beanbag round, a taser, pepper spray, things like that actually affect individuals. You know, when you look at less lethal devices, you know, sometimes a taser will work on someone right away, and then we have many incidents where a taser doesn't even affect individuals. So that's why we carry different tools to try to keep incidents like officer-involved shootings from occurring. But once again, sometimes it does not work. And with the felonious assault we had already had, a SWAT team on the way, unfortunately the officers and deputies did what they believed they felt necessary at the time.
And were there body cams for this?
I can tell you right now there are no body cams right now, and we're looking right now at how vehicle cruisers were parked and things like that to see what kind of footage we have.
And do you know the condition of the suspect right now? I know you said he had mentioned.
I do not know.
Okay.
Before I came down here, I don't know this condition.
Do you know where he was hit? Like
No. Obviously, we're having BCI handle all of that. So other than getting the scene secure and getting it ready for them to come in, you know, we're trying to remove ourselves to the point where we can have an independent group come in and look at it.
Are neighbors going to be able to get out from down there? Or
we'll make sure, and obviously, you know, neighbors down there are aware there's obviously something going on out front. So we've been in contact with most of them.
What's the usual response time when you call in SWAT? How long does it time elapse from the initial call to when everyone gets here and gets ready?
I really can't answer that. I can tell you we had SWAT officers, SWAT deputies already on the scene preparing and stuff when the incident occurred. So you know, in our county, in our area, we don't have a full-time SWAT team, so most of the time everybody's responding from home, or maybe they're working already and responding from there. But you know, it's not a super quick response, but it's you know, they live their lives knowing that they can be called at any time. So you know, they were already en route, just like me. I was en route when all this occurred, the same way the team was.
Besides the person that was stabbed and the suspect, was there any other people in the home there?
There were others involved,
Okay.
yes, but there was no one else that was injured other than the original victim and the suspect. Sorry.
Do you know how long you elapsed time from, in this situation this morning, from when the SWAT call out, or from the original situation to when the SWAT was called out, and then I guess how long between that, from the call out?
I don't know the exact times. I can say I've been told they tried the PA system for about a half hour to try to get the individual to come out peacefully and be taken into custody. So the original call went out about 2 a.m. to get here, and by about 4 a.m. all this had occurred. So you know, they took their time trying to get the individual out of the house, and it just didn't work out tonight.
And when the individual did come out of the house, you said the suspect was carrying a weapon. Can you say at this time what that weapon was?
I'm once again, just because I don't know how BCI this is the first time we've called BCI in to handle it, so I don't want to do anything that interrupts what they do with their investigation.
Thank you.
There'll be more to come. I just wanted to make sure that we made a statement before, so you knew at least what was going on.
Thank you.
We
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Sheriff.